Okay, everybody, we got three CNBC clips to take a look at today. I'm going to react to them. In general, my sentiment is, what the fill in the blank. I'm a little confused by this first clip, and I just I don't have words really to explain to it. So instead, I'm just going to react to it. So with that said, let's just get right into it.
We are 1 week away from the Tesla shareholder vote. That is where Musk's multi-billion-dollar pay package is at stake, as well as the relocation of the company from Delaware to Texas. Reincorporation, really. Of course, they already are headquartered in Texas. Former Tesla board member and the Wesley Group founder and managing partner Steve Wesley joins us now. Steve, always good to have you. I assume you're still, and I might be wrong, a shareholder. But either way, I'm curious as to how you would vote on the compensation package.
Notice he won't answer the fact if he's a shareholder or not. Really interesting, huh?
Yes or no?
Well, I think I'd probably vote no. Look, Elon's done an extraordinary job. He's built one of the transformational companies of the age, but asking for a $55 billion pay increase, precisely the time when you've missed quarterly numbers, growth is slowing down, and you've laid off 15% of the workforce is, I'd say, hubris to say the least.
Okay, let's just stop right there. First of all, he didn't acknowledge if he owns Tesla shares or not. To me, that means he does not. Second, he called it giving Elon a $55 billion pay increase. This is not cogent. This is intellectually dishonest. It's not a pay increase. This is him keeping his pay for work already done, already completed, for hitting KPIs that have already been done. Listen to that again.
But asking for a $55 billion pay increase.
Asking for a $55 billion pay increase. What the F? Right? Like, what the hell is he talking about? And this is a former board member.
The time when you've missed quarterly numbers, growth is slowing down, and you've laid off 15% of the workforce is, I'd say, hubris to say the least. I think the real.
He's talking about growth is slowing, yet you laid off 50% of the workforce. First of all, he hasn't laid off 50% of the workforce. I don't know where he's getting that from. 50%? No. That's, again, inaccurate. Don't know what he's talking about. And two, you yourself are saying growth has slowed. So this isn't a Elon issue. This is growth has slowed. Look at the freaking economy, right? Yet you've got a clown like this being hosted by CNBC saying crap like this. It's just not not intellectually honest.
Real story here is going to be that an awful lot of the world's pension funds, including CalPERS and CalSTRS, right, serve on the board, highly likely to vote no. I think that's what's likely to push a no vote. It's going to be high drama next week. I think everybody's going to be watching me first.
Yeah, no, I've reported as well. The index funds, which I believe all voted against in 18, also likely. It's going to be perhaps an uphill battle for them. I'm curious, though, as to why you feel that way. I mean, this was approved by 73% of the shareholders in 2018. It was way out of the money. In fact, I remember at the time we were discussing the fact that, my God, could you imagine them ever reaching these kinds of price targets on the stock for him to get any money? And they did. So why judge it now as opposed to think about, well, isn't he deserving of something that he was contractually due?
Well, let me tell you exactly why. If you look at his performance over those years, it was stunning. 2021, Tesla had 71% growth. 2022, 51% growth. These are software type numbers. That's why Tesla rocketed into the top 10 market cap companies of the world. And I think at that point, he probably deserved it. But if you look at what's happened with growth over the last few years, last year down to 19%, this year could well be in single digits, profitability coming down. The facts on the ground have changed. And I think that's why you're likely to see shareholders coming back with a very different perspective.
His argument is, okay, sure, all this good has happened, but now we are in the slow growth period, so we aren't going to pay him for all work done in the past because we have not gone up by 10x since then, have we? Has that happened? I think so. So what's actually happening here? To me, what it seems like is he's out of the stock. He doesn't have much stake in here. He probably has political odds with Elon at this point. To sit here and say that you aren't going to pay him because for 1 year, the economy has gone to complete shit. And so now you're not going to pay him for all the work he's done. Like seriously, they're so far ahead of all the metrics that they're supposed to hit in 10 years. They've done it in 6 years. So you're punishing the guy for being ahead of schedule. You're punishing a guy for still having the company up 10x in a matter of a few years. This is absolutely insane. This is not a real argument. He also mentions that a lot of the pension funds or whatever are going to vote against it, like CalPERS. Again, this is a California based pension fund and it's irrelevant. I'm sorry. They are irrelevant. They are not holding up their end of the bargain. This, again, is a political axe to grind with Elon. I don't even know how much Tesla they own at this point, but I really think it's a moot point. I think this is going to pass. I don't think there's a big issue here. I think Elon will keep his pay package. There's lots of people fighting for it, and clowns like this are disgusting. I have lost all respect for all these people. Somebody did something, they committed their end of the bargain, and you want to play this kind of crap? No, it's just messed up.
But as I said, we'll see. It'll be high drama next week.
Any concern on your part, or should there be on the part of shareholders that Musk would depart or devote even less time if in fact he doesn't get this compensation that he says obviously and the board says he was due?
Well, I think there's concern if Tesla shareholders on a lot of things. Will they get the $25,000 car out in the next year, leading the pack? The next big issue is, will he really have full self-driving? Waymo's now rolled out in 4 cities, moving nationwide. Tesla's FSD not quite there yet. So there are a lot of issues that need to be resolved. But if you'd asked me a year or two ago, is Elon ever going to leave Tesla? I'd say not in a million years. That prospect is a little cloudier. We'll see.
Yeah, that prospect's cloudier because dumb fucks like you are saying shit like this. I don't even care if this gets demonetized at this point for cussing. Like, seriously, what the hell? Yeah, of course it's cloudy because you are advocating to vote against this. This is freaking insane to me. Meanwhile, he's sitting there talking about, oh, yeah, there's lots of concerns. Will they come out with a $25,000 vehicle? Yeah, they will. Okay. But it takes time to do this the right way and do it profitably. Oh, Waymo's in 4 cities now. Okay, cool. My FSD can drive anywhere in the country, anywhere in Canada, soon in Europe, soon in China. So, yeah, great. Waymo's in 4 cities and not even fully in those cities, little parts of it. There's not a single place my car can't drive that a Waymo can. Can you say that the other way around? No, you can't. So again, this is what happens when suits like this little clown here with his little button-up shirt, his little suit doesn't even fit him right. Wears like a coat hanger. He needs to go eat a burger or something. Clowns like this are the reason why all this drama is existing. It's all political. It's all people who don't know what they're talking about, who don't understand the company, who don't understand the technology. To sit there and just say, "Oh, you got to get a 25,000 vehicle out there," that's like that's the same kind of BS you hear from like someone like Gary Black, right? Or, oh, PR, we need PR. This is idiotic. You shouldn't have to fight for a company, or you should have to. A company shouldn't have to prove itself to journalists for them to tell the truth, right? That's Gary's point of view. Well, if Tesla had a PR, then they could spin their own narrative and tell their side of the story, and journalists wouldn't print this. What are you talking about, man? Like, literally, Elon debunks everything that comes out essentially in real time. On top of that, all these journalists could easily, one, do their own research, two, reach out to people in the Tesla community. You have engineers, you have AI specialists, you have ML specialists, you have lawyers, you have accountants, you have fund managers. All these people are part of the Tesla community you can talk to get, your real truth of source. But no, they don't do that, right? It's a joke. Seriously, all these people are a joke. They are just politically motivated, and it's so clear and transparent.
Do you think the best days of Tesla are behind it, Steve?
I think it's too early to throw in the towel on that. Keep in mind, even though Tesla slowed down a bit, at precisely the time the entire global auto industry is moving electric. They just are, and that's because the cost of batteries continue to go down.
So you just admitted that the whole global auto economy is slowing down, yet you're using that as a reason not to pay Elon, as if he has control over the whole global auto economy. Okay, again, not a cogent argument, intellectually dishonest.
Go down. Tesla still held 52% market share in the United States. That's more than all other competitors combined. So they're in a strong position. They own the dealership. They've got a cost advantage on batteries, but they've got to kick things into a higher gear. That all starts with fixing full self-driving, getting that $25,000 car into the market.
I also think it's hilarious that he says kick in a higher gear. It's like, dude, you're talking about Tesla. They don't have gears. You were part of a board member there. Why don't you know this? Why can't you choose better language? It's just lazy.
The world is moving electric, but the world is increasingly and at a quicker pace moving to hybrid. And so that trend is not favoring Tesla right now, Steve. Can Tesla still remain at a premium valuation when the growth right now, at least for the foreseeable future, is in hybrid?
The growth is not in hybrids now or in the foreseeable future. If you look at the fastest growing segment in the EV market, it is still all EVs. Look at BYD. The reason for that is the cost of batteries continues to go down roughly 14% a year. I think if you look forward 5 years from now, hybrids will be in the rear view mirror. And I think the people at BYD, Hyundai, and others agree. The people who are clamoring loudest for hybrids are the firms like Toyota, GM, and Ford. They've been the laggards in the sector. They're going to be going all electric too. But make no mistake, the future is all electric, not hybrid. And Tesla, well positioned for that one, as is BYD.
All right. Well, I actually agree with that last part of what he had to say. So at least we found some common ground there. But again, Tesla's well positioned as long as they have Elon Musk. But people like you are potentially risking us losing the person, the one who would keep us pushing in that direction. Right? It's just insane. It's like these people don't hear themselves talking. I don't know what to say. I mean, I literally saw this morning and I started like just in my own head, just started screaming like, what the hell? I mean, this stuff's causing me to drink over here. Nah, I'm just kidding. Like, I like my little bourbon over here. Okay, I got another one for you. This one is also a little striking, a little bit confusing. Again, another head scratcher. When I watched this, I was kind of like, again, WTF? Like this is weird. What's happening?
Time for today's three stock lunch. With our trades today is Adil Zaman, partner at Wall Street Alliance Group. Great to have you here, Adil. Welcome. And we'll start with Tesla. The board of directors continuing support of Elon Musk's pay package. In fact, Chair Robin Denholm told CNBC it's not about the compensation. Take a listen.
It's not about the dollars. It's actually about someone who took a huge risk from a pay perspective. No compensation would have been awarded had he not hit the milestones. And so for me, that risk reward is very important in corporate America.
And Tesla shares are up about 1% today. Of course, they've been under pressure so far this year. Adil, what's your trade here?
Yeah, we would be, it would be a buy, and we would 100% agree with those comments. You know, the stock's down more than 29% year to date. At times like this is when you see buying opportunities in a company like Tesla. And although, you know, their vehicle sales have suffered due to a softening in demand, we see a lot of potential in the self-driving software, which could potentially lead to new revenue streams for the company. You know.
Okay. So, like, can we take a pause here? What is this? CNBC just had this guy who I've never even heard of before, had him on, is saying that Tesla is a buy right now, that Elon should get paid his pay package, and that the future's bright for Tesla, especially a lot of upside because of autonomy. Is this CNBC? Like, what's going on here? If I I don't know what to say. It's as if the narrative is starting to change, and some people are starting to see it and speak about it. I still think we're going to see more and more of this, but hey, this is a little refreshing. Again, I had a WTF moment when I saw this. I was like, what? CNBC? I had to double check. I was like, am I on X or am I on CNBC watching this? It was a bit baffling.
You know, potentially it could lead to, you know, when you sell a car, you can only sell it once. But when you get a software, once you've developed it, you can sell it unlimited number of times. And this could potentially lead to recurring subscription revenues for the company as well. So for us, this
It's like he gets it. It's like he understands. It's as if, somebody pointed out to him some very basic numbers and he used a little, self thought, did a little model calculation, used some just a little intuition, a little just basic 1 + 1 = 2, and came to these conclusions. That was, to say the least, refreshing to see and to hear. Um, Now, I'm going to leave it with one last one here. I highly recommend you guys stick around for this one because to me, this was a really, really good interview to watch and to hear. And it really explains a lot about Tesla and their compensation, or the Elon Musk compensation. It's with Robin Denholm. She's one of the board members. She really lays out a why we are doing this, why Elon Musk deserves this compensation. So let's take a listen here. This is an interview with Andrew Ross Sorkin, part of Squawk Box, and yeah, let's take a listen here.
Is 1 week from today, mark your calendar, at stake is the big vote on Elon Musk's pay package and to move the company's legal home from Delaware to Texas. Joining me right now in an exclusive interview is Tesla board chair Robin Denholm, and we are thrilled to have you.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And you have been working mightily hard over the past couple of weeks, talking to shareholders from around the country, big institutions and others. And there's an opportunity to talk to retail shareholders about what is going on at Tesla and about this pay package. We've been debating this pay package virtually every day now, yes, for weeks, if not months. I've been very outspoken. I think a lot of people know my own views about it, but I want to understand your views about it, and not just your views as the lead of the board, but also personally about how you think about what is going on right now.
Yeah, so I think for me, getting out and talking to shareholders is really important. And today is a great opportunity to actually speak directly to retail shareholders who form quite a big part of the ownership structure of the company. And so for me...
Yeah, so let's just stop there real quick. So before, when you heard the former board member of Tesla, I forget his name, but he was sitting there talking about, these pension funds, whatever. They're not going to influence the vote as much as people think. Back whenever this passed, it passed with shareholder approval of 73%. At that time, us retail investors, we were not the majority compared to institutional investors. That has flipped essentially 2-1 since then. And I would say our grassroots campaign, I wouldn't even say call it grassroots at this point. If you see what Tesla Boomer Mom is doing, all the great work Herbert's doing to get the notion out here, Amy, Sawyer, Omar, the Tesla internal teams, just in general, everybody supporting this. You can see there's a really big momentum from Tesla retail shareholders. So I think it's a little overblown when we give focus to these pension funds or people like Ross Gerber, perfect example. All right, Ross Gerber, his fund owns 800 shares. That doesn't even scratch the surface of what we own from Tesla investment perspective. So Ross is irrelevant. Ross is tiny. Like, he's a tiny human to begin with, but he's also tiny, down there. But also he's tiny when it comes to his share position. Even Gary Black, again, I have more shares than him, right? Like, so, and I'm not even a big shareholder in the grand scheme of things, right? So if you think about it, these people are noisy, they say a lot, but they're not really influencing anything. So, be optimistic. Your vote matters. So go vote. Don't hope, because we are in control of this company, of its destiny. It's up to us. So go vote. Make your voice heard. Make your your vote count.
The ratification of the pay package is really about fairness. Fairness to our CEO. If you look at what's happened at the company over the last 6 tremendous value creation, and he's led that.
Right.
Obviously, the Tesla team has been instrumental in it. But if you sit back, shareholders have benefited tremendously. Over $730 billion of value creation. Employees have benefited tremendously. They're all shareholders in the company, so their stock has risen. Customers have benefited by the tremendous innovation. And the only person who hasn't been paid is actually the leader of the company, Elon.
So, you know my view. I believe a contract's a contract. But there are others who say, and by the way, the court has suggested that this is just too much money. What do you say to that?
Well, it's not.
That's just so ignorant to say it's too much money. There's no such thing as too much money. First of all, this isn't the 50 something, 55, $54 billion pay package people say it is. All right. The hit to the shareholders, right, to us, will be the 3 to 4 billion that he'll get. Now, because of the sheer appreciation of those options, right, they are so far in the money that it's worth this crazy 50 something billion dollar package. But to sit there and act like this is too much money for someone, it's like who's to say? All right, like Nancy Pelosi just made something like 400% of her annual salary on her Nvidia call options, right? And what does she do? What value does she provide? What jobs has she created? What product has she put out there? What good is she doing in the world? It's insane. Okay. Meanwhile, today we just had, Starship essentially have a successful relanding of the first and second stage booster. We got Elon putting chips in people in quadriplegics' brains. We got full self-driving, saving lives. I mean, you go on and on. This person is doing things for humanity, actually putting stuff out there.
It's not about the dollars. It's actually about someone who took a huge risk from a pay perspective. No compensation would have been awarded had he not hit the milestones. And so for me, that risk reward is very important in corporate America. I think it's very important from reaching for the stars, if you like, or Mars in this case. But to me, it's about really setting things up, and Elon embodies that. Right. And so big, ambitious goals are things that drive innovation. And I think the options underneath this pay package are very well earned.
Let me ask you this. If the pay package is not approved by shareholders, what do you think would happen?
Yeah, well, obviously that's something the board has spent quite a bit of time deliberating. And when we were assessing all the different options after the January judgment came out, this is the best option. Ratifying the plan is the best option. Clearly, if it doesn't pass, then there are other alternatives, but none of them are as good from a shareholder perspective as actually ratifying the plan. People have asked me, well, why didn't you renegotiate? Well, actually, from a legal perspective, ratification is really taking the same plan and putting it back in front of shareholders with all the requisite disclosure that the judge asked for.
There are some.
This is what's crazy to me. Everyone talks about, like, the judge says that there wasn't enough negotiation or whatever. What's there to negotiate? When you see a deal in front of you, you jump at that deal. You don't get greedy. Elon said that if I don't essentially 10x the company, right? If I don't grow EBITDA by X amount, if we don't hit these impossible milestones that everybody said were impossible, I get nothing, right? So when you see a deal like that, what's been quoted or has been said to be the friendliest deal ever to shareholders from a CEO compensation perspective, you don't ask for more. There's nothing to negotiate there. Elon's interests were directly aligned with mine, with yours, with all shareholders. So to sit there and try to negotiate that is just it's immoral, it's wrong, it's greedy, it's everything that's wrong with the world today. This company, this CEO should be the gold standard for how every CEO is metriced and paid. Yet we got an issue with that. And then for this ratification, people want the board to renegotiate with like F off. Again, WTF, right? Like, how much do you expect? Do you expect the board to, like? What's there to renegotiate at this point, right? He hit the metrics. We all agreed to this. It's a great deal. Everybody wins. There's no losers in this. It's
Some
insane.
lawyers who have suggested even if it is approved by shareholders again, that a court could strike it down and not accept this new ratification, if you will.
Well, that is possible. But quite frankly, if you sit back, that's actually quite detrimental from a shareholder primacy perspective, which at the end of the day, that's another reason why we're fighting so hard to get this ratified. Shareholder votes have been pretty sacrosanct from a Delaware law perspective, from a corporate America perspective, from a legal system. And over 73% of the unaffiliated shareholders voted for this plan in 2018.
So one of the things that's very interesting about what's happening now is to ratify, from a technical perspective, it's ratifying the prior plan as opposed to creating a new plan.
That's exactly
And one of the
right.
things that's, I think, misunderstood, and maybe you can help explain this, is it would actually cost a lot more from shareholders if, in fact, this was a new contract prospectively, in that you wrote down the cost of some of this back in 2018, the tune of about $2.7 billion, I think.
2.3.
2.3.
Yes.
But it would cost today, I think, closer to $25 billion.
That's exactly right. So
explain that.
So the actual return for shareholders, $2.3 billion stock-based comp charge that was taken for the 2018 plan is already happened. The share count in the options is already in the diluted share count. That's
So in other words, we've already accounted for this expense. We've already accounted for it. So it doesn't hurt us anymore. So all this where people talk about, oh, it's better for the share, BS. We've accounted for it. We've talked about it. I remember every single time Rob Maurer on Tesla Daily, back in the good old days, Rob would sit there during earnings report. We would see how much was accounted for Elon's comp, et cetera. So this is accounted for. This isn't an issue. Yet, if we do a new plan, it's going to be an issue. It's going to be 25 billion versus 2.4 billion.
That's already happened. If that plan is overturned and we have to put in a new plan, for example, if it was exactly the same type of plan as the other, it would cost $25 billion worth of stock-based comp.
What do you make of the argument that Elon Musk already has a huge stake in this company, that he's already incentivized, that he's already motivated, that he's not going to walk away from this company if he didn't get this package?
I think I'd turn that around. What I would say is...
Before she says her part, that's assuming that Elon is money motivated. Elon literally just told Bob, he literally said, go fuck yourself, right? And I'm embracing my inner Elon. I don't care if I get demonetized on this video. It doesn't matter. He literally said to him to go fuck yourself, okay? That is not a person who's motivated by money. This whole concept of, oh, Elon owns 13%, so that's enough incentive. He does not care about the money. Money is irrelevant to someone like him, right? Not even just because he's stupid rich, but just his personality. That's not what he cares about. If money's what he cared about, he would be out, retired on a yacht and, just doing whatever he wants to do, sipping Mai Tais, Don't get me wrong. It sounds nice to me. But Elon is built different. He wants to work. He wants to do things. He wants to make the impossible happen. That's what he cares about. But he doesn't want to be screwed over, and he's a principled man. That's what people don't understand. We've lost sight of that in this country. We've lost sight of morals and decency and what's right is wrong, right, and having convictions and standing by those convictions. People have lost that in this country. That's a problem. Luckily, someone like him is reminding us what's important, what counts, and what matters.
Put yourself in his shoes. You've worked really hard, incredibly hard over 6 years to lead the company through transformative growth. Nobody thought that these goals were possible in 2018. I remember talking to shareholders and what they would say to me is, Robin, what are you going to do? What's the board going to do when he doesn't hit the goals and he's demotivated? So for me, after all of that effort, to then have somebody overturn that package or the the deal that was
Right.
struck, how would you feel?
Powerful interview. I'm really happy that she showed up. There was another segment to this, pretty much the same, more of the same. I recommend you go and check it out. Uh, Guys, everybody, listen. If you haven't voted, if you think it's too complicated, if you voted no, whatever it is, it matters. It really does. Even if you already voted yes, put some energy out there. Go post on X. Go talk to your friends. Anyone who has shares, they might not have voted. They may not be as plugged in as you are. Go and get the message out there. We need Elon. I'll tell you what. Selfishly, I'll be straight with you guys. For me, it's our future. Okay, we have goals as a family to hit financially, and it's our future. I imagine the same with for you guys. Whatever your situation is, I want this to pass because I want Elon to stay there because I want another package to be, again, shareholder friendly, aligned to get the company to a 5 trillion market cap, 10 trillion market cap to solve autonomy. I want those to be the metrics that we're tied to get the humanoid out there. And the only way we get that is by honoring this package. And Elon's the type of person who doesn't fail. Today's a perfect day to prove that out. We saw the first and second stage booster land. One way or another, he may be late. He may be late, but he always delivers. Get the message out there. Voice your opinion. Be loud about it. Don't be dismissive. Don't care if people look at you or think a certain way of you. We got to get past that. Right. I was talking to a friend earlier today, and she was talking about how, in the past, she's been scared to talk about, if she likes a certain person politically or not. And, it's kind of suppressed her voice because she thought people would think she's a certain way or has certain opinions that are just extremely extreme. And it's not the case. All right. So don't let, what other people think of Elon silence you. Don't silence your voice. The quietest voices, when they speak up, tend to be the loudest. Embrace that. I love you all. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace.